Assalamualaikum guys, welcome back to China Clinicals. Today we're going to be discussing growth hormone. Okay, so growth hormone is an hormone which is also called as somatotropin. One thing that you need to know is that it basically acts through the pathway of JAK-STAT pathway. Okay, so also called as somatotropin, secreted by anterior pituitary, stimulates linear growth muscle mass through insulin like growth factor 1, which is also called as somatomedin C. So it would have its effect by insulin like growth factor 1, which is produced by liver mainly, and it is also called as somatomedin C. This is very, very important. Then, secreted by liver, it increases insulin resistance, diabetogenic in effect, released in pulses in response to growth hormone, releasing hormone which is produced by hypothalamus, that is going to act on pituitary gland to release growth hormone, which is going to have impact on all of these. We're just going to read through this, and then we're going to discuss this. After that, secretion increases during sleep. Hypoglycemia. Why? Because it is diabetogenic in effect. So that means that it is going to increase the glucose level, which means in hypoglycemic or in time of stress, puberty, exercise, it is going to increase. Secretion decreases with aging, obesity, hyperglycemia, somatostatin, somatomedin, regulatory molecule secreted by liver in response to growth hormone acting on the target tissues. Excess secretion of growth hormone, which is pituitary adenoma, may lead to acromegaly in adults and gigantism in children. Treatment would be somatostatin analog, which is octreotide. Somatostatin analog is very, very important. It helps to treat with acromegaly. It is going to help with acromegaly alongside with that carcinoid syndrome. And then also when there is I think esophageal, yes, there's going to be esophageal varices, so somatostatin analog helps with that. You need to know these three. Now back to the growth hormone. Growth hormone mainly acts on 4 organs. The very first organ that it is going to act on is going to be insulin like growth factor 1. This insulin like growth factor helps to act on bones, muscles, and then growth hormone has a direct effect on adipose tissue. So growth hormone has direct effect on only 2 organs. One is liver and one is adipose tissue. Okay, the indirect effect is on bones and muscles. So you need to know the direct and the indirect effect of it. For direct effect on liver, it's going to produce insulin like growth factor 1. Now its indirect effect is going to be on bones, which is going to increase the amino acid uptake, increase protein synthesis, which means that it is anabolic in nature. It is increasing protein synthesis. How? By increasing the uptake of amino acid. It is also going to increase DNA RNA synthesis, increase in chondroitin sulfate, collagen, cell size and number. Then it acts on the muscles to increase the amino acid uptake and protein synthesis. Then directly affecting the adipose tissue, where it decreases the glucose uptake, which means that a lot of glucose is going to be in the circulation, and it increases the lipolysis. So it has anabolic effect on bones. I'm just going to change the color. So anabolic effect on the bones and on the muscles, but catabolic effect on the adipose tissue by increasing lipolysis, which means that breakdown of the fats, producing a lot of fatty acids and glycerol. Okay, so now we're just going to devise the effect of growth hormone. Growth hormone acts with the help of JAK-STAT pathway. It is going to have 2 direct effects and 2 indirect effects. Direct effect is going to be on liver, which produces insulin like growth factor 1, which ironically has a negative feedback on the pituitary gland as well as on the hypothalamus. Now what alongside with that, aging, obesity and hyperglycemia, it's also going to inhibit hypothalamus on releasing the growth hormone releasing hormone. And then sleep, hypoglycemia, stress, puberty, exercise is going to have a positive impact. Now the direct effect on adipose tissue was catabolic in nature, to break down a lot of fats, producing fatty acids and glycerol. Alongside with that, it basically decreased the uptake of glucose in the fats, so that means a lot of glucose is going to be in circulation. Then also it has the indirect effect, which is going to be the anabolic effect on the bones. So increase uptake of amino acid, which is going to form proteins. Then also increase in DNA RNA synthesis, chondroitin sulfate, cell size and number would increase, and same for the muscles, especially the protein part. So that is your growth hormone. In case of acromegaly and gigantism, just give the somatostatin analog, which is going to be octreotide, which also helps with the treatment of carcinoid syndrome and esophageal varices. So that is growth hormone.